Hello and welcome, guys and girls. So today I'm going to share you the interview process for Amazon SDE position. So Amazon has L1 to L5, where L1 is for the least experience, 1 to 2 year experience. I'm going to share the experience and the process you need to follow and what Amazon follows for L3 and above. So it means 6 years, 6 to 10 years or more, maybe 6 to 20 years, not the SDM position, but it's SDE position. So initially you'll be given an online coding challenge. When your profile gets shortlisted, recruiter will contact you. He'll give you an online coding challenge. Coding challenge will have 2 questions, 90 minutes. These coding questions are not easy, basically. So first coding question what I got was the drone flight plane problem. So on an XY plane you are given the points. The drone has to fly from position A to the position end, maybe from start to end, and each point has some fuel and or maybe we can say energy. So whenever a plane climbs up, that plane loses the energy, while when plane goes down it gains the energy. So you have to calculate and whether the plane is going to reach the destination or not. I have given the question and the probable answer may not be complete on my GitHub blog. You can check it. I'll upload this text pad after the video. Then so what I saw is it's not necessary that you have to pass all the test cases for both the questions. For one question I was able to pass all the test cases, somewhere around 10 test cases are there. For the second question I passed 5 test cases. Still I got the call for the phone interview. So after somewhere around 10 days you'll get a call for phone interview. It's exactly 1 hour. Amazon guys are very punctual for the time. In first 30 minutes they'll be asking something about trees, tries, difference between hash tables, trees, trade-offs, where the hash table should be preferred and where the tries, the trees should be preferred, what's tries, what's the database locking, then what's IPC, threads versus processes, C++, virtual functions, concurrency versus parallelism. So a bit of overall about operating system, algorithms, object-oriented design, object-oriented programming, but they do not require you have to be very expert in it. You just need to have a good idea of it. If you are able to answer the 75% of questions, it's good. Then for the rest of 25 minutes you'll have a coding question in which you have to share your code pad with the interviewer. My coding question was merging 2 linked lists, in which to produce a linked list in bigger linked list in a sorted order. Then he'll be asking you the time and the space complexity. You have to be very specific and you have to be clear with the big O of n calculations for space and time complexity. And then rest 5 minutes the interviewer keeps for you to ask questions to the interviewer. Somewhere after 2 months or maybe between 1 to 2 months, if your both rounds are good, your phone interview goes good, you'll get a call for on-site interview. On on-site interview you'll have somewhere around 5 to 6 rounds. So in first round you'll have, basically remember that Amazon has 14 leadership principles. I have crammed all those leadership principles, and basically in every interview and every interviewer is given one leadership principle. So he asks questions from you about that leadership principle, and you have to answer the question in a star format, that is what was the situation, what was the task, what was action you taken, when what was the result. So they are actually bothered about your role in that particular situation, not overall team role. So in round one, first 15 minutes, interviewer will ask his behavioral question. You have to give an exact situation, explain them. It's not required that you go too much technical into it. That's not required. You just have to show that yes, you are fit for that leadership principle. Then for rest of somewhere around 15, for rest of 35 to 40 minutes, they'll ask you a coding question. And remember guys, these for experienced guys, for 6+ or 5+ years of experience, these questions are not straightforward. It will not be that you have to do a breadth first search for vector. You have to do maybe bottom, you have to provide bottom view of a tree or right view of a tree. Remember, those are not the questions. And so the question asked was that in a stream, products are coming, the orders are coming. You can store them in a structure, class, or anything you want, and you have to find the top product sold in last 1 hour, maybe in last 10 minutes, or maybe in 1 minute. And each product has its own product ID. So it's similar to the sales rank question, but basically you have to code. You have to show them that you can code. And then so first of all, you have to understand the question from the interviewer, that yes, I'm understanding this, are you saying this? And when things are good and clear, they'll expect you to code. So there are two scenarios here. Either you can code on the whiteboard, or they allow you to carry your laptop and code in your IDE. If you are comfortable in coding your IDE, that's also good. You can carry your laptop. So after you code it on the board, they'll ask the time and the space complexity. Again, remember guys, if you are going to give a naive solution whose time complexity is high, they'll not say anything that it's not accepted, but definitely they require you to optimize it. And if you're not able to optimize, then your chances are very less, very bleak. Last 5 minutes or 10 minutes, round one interviewers also keep for asking the questions. You can ask any questions you want, but again, each interview room has a time clock there on, or a wall clock there, so you have to keep eye on the wall clock. Exactly within 1 hour you have to leave, because other interviewer is there outside waiting for you. So for the second interview, the behavioral question was any customer benefit idea on their existing setup. And again, I think so in if you are going for a break, let's suppose washroom or restroom, then you are consuming your time, because the time for that interview will be reduced, and it will be, I think, your loss. So better to take very less breaks and focus on the questions. So the design question was the tinyurl. Interviewer started with that you are having a very low-end machine and you want to serve only one connection initially, and he was not bothered about how the components are fitting in. So yes, again, remember, there are a lot of system design videos on internet which shows which components to fit in. That you'll have a CDN, then you'll have a AWS firewall, you'll have a AWS cloud, you'll have SSL load balancers. The interviewer don't want it. They simply want that what's the internal design of the design problem. So what's the internal design of tinyurl. They expect that. So in tinyurl is basically can be implemented using hash tables. So what if you get a same string for converting into the short URL, and how you are going to manage it on a hash table? So what will be the hash function, what will be the output, how you will store it, what will happen in case of collision. So they are going to ask you very in-depth internal design of the design problem. It's not about the overall design, guys. Let's understand this, because on internet we find a lot of videos where bigger designs are given and how we are going to implement the actual logic is not given. You should focus on that. Then in round 3, again the behavioral question was what idea you helped for team. So this is on invent and simplify principle, and this was the object oriented round, where it's given that and a lot of points are coming on to the xy plane, and there is one reference point. So you have to find the k nearest point to the reference point, or maybe n nearest points to the reference point. So again, interviewer want your design should be following the object oriented solid principle. It should be open for extensions but closed for modifications. Again, if you want to extend from xy to xyz plane, 3-dimensional plane, it should be open, and you should not require to do the code changes in your first basic class. So class design is required. So in this also, class design, what classes would be there, what interfaces would be there, how they are going to communicate, and where will be the logic for calculating the k shortest points will be there, what data structure will you use. So these are all things are required in object oriented design, and definitely they'll require an optimized solution. If you are giving a O(n) square O(n) cube solution, like running 2 for loops and calculating the nearest distance between the points, it will not going to work. So round 4 was a manager round. He has asked a couple of questions like contention with the manager, and you have to be prepared with these behavioral questions as well, because what Amazon thinks is that if in your 5 to 6 years, 7 years of your career, you do not have contention with your manager, so you are not following the bias to action leadership principle. And if you do not have the contention, you are not growing. So guys, just remember a situation where you have a contention with your manager, and just present it in a star format, that what you did, and you stick to what you said, and you are biased for action, and definitely those things work well for both. So in behavioral questions, try to understand that it should be a win-win situation for both. Then some other behavioral questions: contention with the team member, situation where team said that they are going with direction X and you said Y, and you go on with the team. So if you are proud of any moment, manager giving negative feedback, why Amazon, any timeline missed, and so on and so forth. So these basically covers the Amazon principles. Then there will be one more manager round. This manager round will be purely technical. First question asked was, give me a data structure where get minimum and get maximum is always in one time. So when I presented him, we can implement using linked lists, doubly linked list, where we insert it in the front, and we can keep front and rear. We insert in front, remove from rear, but still he asked any other data structure. Then I provided stack, we can implement it using the stack. Then still he said okay, but he may want a better solution out of it. Then the interviewer will ask you about the tough projects, recent projects, 2 or 3 recent projects you have done. And remember, he will try to dig down deeper and deeper into the projects, what the toughest projects, coding projects you have done, to understand that are you really doing a coding work, are you really doing a quality work, or are you just doing a bug fixing, or are you just showing off that you are doing a work and you're not doing actually. So just be prepared for the projects what you have done, and yeah, just be prepared. Try to so yeah, my suggestion here is, because when you will be preparing for Amazon, the realistic situation is that you will not be able to focus much on your GitHub code or maybe on your coding work, because if you are overly involved, you will not be able to prepare for your Amazon interview. So the thing here is that be prepared, show them off, that you have done a good work, and try to cover up all the points. If you say something, you should be aware about it, and then wait for the interview. And if and try to learn something from your experience, the questions and all. So if you fail in first or second round also, don't get disheartened, guys. You know why? Because failure, if we think failure as a learning, then definitely it's a very good thing. Don't give up, because as I read somewhere, that if for making my or maybe my family's life better, if I have to fail 10 times or 100 times, then I'm ready to do it. And basically you're not losing anything out of it. So thanks, guys. I'll be uploading more videos about how to prepare for each of the separate rounds, data structure, algorithm, design questions, how I approach the design question, and how to prepare for the data structure, where to find the materials, how to prepare for the behavioral questions. So stay tuned, and thank you very much. Have a good day.